What's up, YouTube? This is Building Better Lives podcast coming at you once again with a brand new topic for you today. Before we get started, if you can do me a favor, it'd really help me out if you would like, share, and subscribe so that we can continue to grow this channel. And if you like what I got, please comment below. And let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to talk about today is having standards. And that's having standards for yourself and also for other people that you allow in your life. Men, I will let you know right here now, it is okay, it's more than okay to have standards. You know, what we look at in a modern society is men are shamed for wanting to have standards. And it's bewildering to me that it is looked at us like we're crazy if we have standards. I give you an example. So a woman gets on TV, woman gets on, online, wherever, and talks about, well, she's looking for a man. You always hear it, the 6 foot, 6-pack and 6 figures, right? And those are all things that, a couple of things a man can do something about, but that 6 foot thing, he can't do anything about being 6 foot. If you're under 6 foot, so it's over for you, right? But when a man turns a corner and says, I want a fit woman, that's something a woman can change. And a feminine woman, that's behavior, something she can change as well. He's ridiculed, right? If a man states what he wants from a woman in order to pursue a relationship with him, then he's considered the worst of the worst. I mean, you can look on any example where a guy says, I'm looking for a woman who weighs, is not overweight, that's a woman that's catering to me, things of that nature. And in exchange, I'm willing to provide the things that she may want, which is a provider or things like that. These guys are called everything but a child of God, right? It's bewildering to me that women will say, don't judge us, don't fat shame us, don't do this and don't do that. And then they turn around and do the same thing to guys. Like, you can get up there and make fun of a guy for being overweight or not having any money or whatever the case is, or not being attractive, and men are just supposed to take that. Why? Because men, we live in the real world. A man knows that, he's unattractive. Most of the guys who know they're unattractive are short. They work harder than most guys, if they're smart, in order to make up for those deficiencies, right? Women expect men to just be like, well, I know you don't have the things that I'm looking for as a woman, but because you're a woman, I'm going to accept that. You don't have to change anything because you're beautiful the way you are, and I'm just going to just put what I want to the side to love you because you are a woman who you roar, right? It's crazy that men have been told to just shut up and take it. And guess what? Men aren't taking it. At least the men that these women want, they're not accepting that, right? There's some men out there who are accepting the fact that you'll just get what you can get. Those men are the lower value men. Those are the men that women don't want anyway, right? So these men change themselves in order to be, get into a relationship with women, because this is what they're told they have to be. They have to be nice to them. They do all these things to get a woman and accept her for who she is. And if she's overweight, don't say anything to her about it because it's going to hurt her feelings. Yada, 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 yada. But in the same breath, she can demand of you certain things, and you have to do that. You have to perform for her. You have to get yourself in order because that's what she wants. And, if she believes she's a 10, then it doesn't matter what you say she is or what you think she is. You have to treat her like a 10. Otherwise, you're wrong. And she will use the sign language to tell you you're wrong, which is what Kevin Samuels famously said before: shaming you, insulting you, guilting you, and the need to be right. This is a women's language. Not all women, but a lot of women today, especially in this online world we live in, they want to shame guys for their standards that they have. There's a video shared earlier on a different perspectives channel. We was talking about a guy was asking, saying what he wanted. And I mean, he was using pretty much cut and dry tone, which, to most people be like, oh man, that's kind of cut and dry, kind of harsh. But this is the same, he's using the same exact language that women use when they say they want a guy and what a guy should have in order to date them. So using the same exact tonality, right? These women were in the comments calling this man, he plays for the other team, he likes children because he wanted a woman who was able to look great, fresh face with no makeup, a woman that was under a certain weight. So now they're calling this man all these names. He's broke. He said he was a CEO, went to MIT, and they're saying that, oh, this guy is, he has to be, playing for the other team, and, he has to be broke. He's lying because there's no way that a successful man could have standards. That's their logic. There's no way that a successful man wouldn't want me to be overweight and not want to take care of me. It's an impossibility to him. And you got to question yourself at a certain point whether this is some type of mental illness. You cannot be this delusional and still think that a man has built his life, has spent his life going to school, making something out of himself, making a lot of money, staying in a certain, shape, whatever the case is, being that man that you want, and he's going to just accept whatever, right? He did not get to where he is in life by accepting whatever from people, right? Or accepting whatever from himself. So why, when it comes down to make the, one of the more important decisions in your life, maybe not the most important, but one of the more important decisions in life, which is choosing a person to partner with, have children with, and, collect your resources with, and nest with, now I'm going to be like, throw all my standards out the window, throw everything I want out the window and say, hey, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter how you treat me, doesn't matter what your outview on life is, I'm going to accept you because the world tells me to do so. That just doesn't make sense. So, men, I'm here to tell you, it's okay to have standards and not let anyone deter you from your standards. There's a correlation with standards. I want to preface this with, you cannot be, as a man, broke, out of shape, not stylish, don't take care of yourself, hygiene wise, and expect to get a supermodel. However, if you have put in the work and you have bettered yourself and you know that you're giving the world your best, the best version of yourself, there is no need to step down from that standard. If you really look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm about a 7 or 8, maybe a 9 on a good day when I'm dressed to the nines. I got myself together, I'm making a lot of money, I'm fit, I'm worked on myself, and I have the confidence, all these things. And then be like, well, you know what, I'll take a 3. To me, what that screams of a man is a, 7, or an 8, as far as what women are, looking for. As far as what they saying, they need a man to be fit and, looking good, taking care of himself. And then he goes to get him a 3 or 4. I mean, he still ain't got the confidence part right. Because there's no way you should be accepting that. You get what you attract. You attract what you are. So if you're a 7 or an 8, I know, Kevin Suttons hate to use the word 7, but if you're an 8 or a 6 or anything like that, then you deserve to get what you worked hard for, because you are above most men, right? You're in the top 10% of earners. You are, looking good, taking care of yourself. You're able to speak eloquently. You're well-traveled. You're all these things that women say they want. And I'm going to go and turn around and say, hey, I'm going to take a 3 or 4, right? I'm going to take someone who's below average. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? And especially you're below average, physically, and then you're just not there. You're not feminine at all. Because I could see a man, possibly going for a woman who's not as, super hot, but she's everything else, right? She cooks, she cleans, she takes care of the household, she's supportive of her man, she's submissive to her man, everything he wants other than looks, she has. And she's cute. She's decent looking, right? And if he dresses her up, she looks, she's above average if she dresses up. I could see a high quality man going for that. But this is not what women are wanting. They're wanting to be, have low quality, physical looks, low quality in mental looks, and say, well, I got money, which I always say, I'm not going to use none of your money. Because if I got my own money, I don't need your money. I'm not concerned about your money because I don't want another boss. I don't need to be dealing with another boss, because now you want to be in control, and that's not how my program works, because I've gotten this far in life by being in control of my situation. I don't need to wrestle with you for control of the household. And then B, you're not even going to spend any of your money on me anyway, right? Most of these women who say they got that bag, and I talked about this in my previous video, most women who say you got that bag, they're not sharing that bag with you. They're not going to say, well, I make $100,000, you make $100,000, now we make $200,000. Sounds great, but they're not going to do it. There's very few women that got the bag that will share the bag with their man and feel comfortable with it. It's very few. And the majority of those women are not out there looking for the top man, right? They're looking for men that are going to be loyal to them, that they can build with. Their number one priority in life is getting along with someone, right? The women who are willing to share the bag. The women who aren't willing to share the bag, they need this man to be just over the top everything. And to me, that's crazy that you expect to not give anything from the woman's standpoint. You're not giving him the looks that he wants. You're not giving him the attitude that he wants. And in a lot of cases, you might not even be giving him the sex that he wants, because he don't do it for you physically. You're not attracted to him, as far as in the bedroom, So it's a trade-off for him to give you everything. You didn't give all your best years to someone else, so he's not even getting that. You've given your best sex to someone else, so he's not getting that. What is he getting? Why would a man in this day and age, where he has so many options, because if he's in the top 10% of men, he has options galore. I don't think women realize how many options a man who has those qualities they're looking for, that 6 foot, 6 figure, 6 pack, I don't think they realize how many options he has. He has 80 to 90% of the women checking for him in the world. 80 to 90% are all vying for this type of man. Why would he accept anything less than the best woman he can get, or the best couple of women he can get? Because that's the realistic part of this. Most men who make that type of money, who know they look that certain way, they have that confidence in themselves, they're not selling for just one woman. And especially not selling for one woman who don't give them everything they need. It's just not realistic. And I don't understand how women don't get it. Maybe they get it and they still, want to believe in the fairy tale, right? Even though men can't believe in the fairy tale anymore, we can't believe that if we treat a woman right, and we are nice to her, and wine and dine on her, and be this romantic, give her all these romantic gestures, that things are going to work out for us. We can't afford to believe in that fairy tale anymore, because we will be burned and laughed at, and we'll, sometimes more times than not, if you're super friendly to a woman, you'll be just that, a friend. You'll be in the friend zone. You won't ever get those cheeks. Right? So men can't afford to believe in this fairy tale. Women are still under the belief that they can have the fairy tale and everything's going to be fine, but they don't even do it in practice. Like, to me, it's weird that women still have this fairy tale mindset. I guess they believe in the beauty and the beast. I guess you would say they're the beauty, and they're going to turn this beast into this wonderful prince they're going to live this life. Let me tell you something, sweetie. This magical beast that you're trying to turn into the prince, you are absolutely delusional. Because if a man's a beast, let me tell you the mindset of a man, right? And I know we're going off on a tangent here, but tell you the mindset of a man. if I'm a beast to you, right? If I'm a bad boy, as women would say, I'm a player, I got women, you are not going to change me, right? The likelihood of you changing me is minimal. It's too far out there for it to be existing. You are not that chick, right? You got to think, if this guy has dated all these women, you think that you, looking regular as you are going to make him change. The only woman he's going to change for is the woman he can't get. The woman that sees through his BS and realizes, I'm not going to waste my time for him. Those are the only time men change. When they approach a woman that they can't get because she sees through his bullshit, and then he's like, well, dang, I gotta be better than I am because the woman I want doesn't want me. So I have to make a change, right? So for you to come along and say, well, yeah, he got multiple baby mamas, multiple girls that he's been stringing along, but I'm gonna be the one that changes him. You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. And these are the standards that you put out for men. They got to be this particular type of guy when you've never gotten that type of guy. And then men put out those standards for women, and he's crazy for thinking, well, shoot, I've worked on myself. This is what I want. But you'll use, shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right in order to win, try to win that man over to your side. That's just not realistic, mama. And men, like I said, the men who are winning in life, they're not changing, their standards. They're not going to be like, well, society's telling me that I have to accept it. I have to accept this woman who isn't, what I want in order to, have something, meaningful. No, they don't believe it. You know why? Because he went out there and conquered the world, and when society told him it was impossible, right? He went out there and forged a life for himself when society told him that, that just wasn't realistic. So why now would he do that? And you're not going to shame those men into dating you. You're not going to shame those men into seeing something that's unrealistic, right? You're not going to say, well, I feel like a 10, so he should see me as a 10. Well, I'm glad you see yourself as a 10. I'm glad you have that confidence. But that don't change how I perceive you. You're still a 4 to me. And I'll just move on past you. And nothing you're saying is going to make me say, you know what, you're right. Calling me, playing for the other team, or calling me, a toxic man, or calling me, controlling, or, whatever, is not going to have me turn around and say, you know what, until you said that, I wasn't going to date you. But now that you've called me all types of names, I've woken up to the fact that you are who I want to be with. How could I not have seen it before? Wow, I need me a overweight, unpleasant, mentally unstable woman to come wreck my life, and that I have to cater to. That's what I need. I didn't know I was missing that my whole life. All right, you women won't even pick a struggle. You don't even pick a struggle. You can't. You be overweight, mean, and mentally unstable. Pick one. Either be fine and mentally unstable and nice, or, be nice and overweight, or, you just pick a struggle. But anyway, we'll leave that topic for another day. I want to thank you guys if you've gotten this far in the video. Once again, if you could do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It really helped me out. But until next time, this has been Building Better Lives Podcast. You guys have a great day.